up folks, and welcome to Sonofdel's live vlog on this Sunday the 7th of March. It is only 1:30 in the afternoon, but I've decided to do my vlog in the daytime instead of at night. Coming up on tonight's vlog, a bit of information about what I've been up to in the last couple of weeks. Also, I've got a unboxing of the Zed Box for March 2021. I've got a book review of a book called Adele of a Life, and it's by David Jason. I've also got a TV series review of the fantastic Carl Howman comedy Brushstrokes. All that to follow, plus a little bit of more as well. Coming up, the unboxing of the Zed Box for March 2021. Well, here we go. It's March already, and I'm on my third box of the year from Zed Box. Let's see what's in this month. We start off with a t-shirt. Very cool t-shirt, actually. Anybody who's into Power Rangers, as you can see from the label there, Power Rangers. Pretty cool, that, isn't it? Megazord activated. It's a nice big size as well. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Not really a massive Transformers fan, but it looks a bit like what's it, doesn't it? It looks a bit like Transformers more than Power Rangers. Anyway, that's one. The second item. Oh, very cool. A set of 4 shot glasses. As you can see, you've got Superman, X-Men, Wonder Woman, and Batman. Very nice. 4 shot glasses. Let's do that. Small glasses set. It's unusual to have in, actually. That's very nice, that. That's the second thing. The third thing, we have another Q-Fig. I love these Q-Figs. I've got about 4 of them now. This one is Cyclops. If I hold it like that, you'll be able to see him properly. It's a Cyclops figure, as you can see. He's on the base there of the X look. There's the back of the box. There's the other side. That's the Cyclops Q-Fig, and that's the third item that's in the box. And the fourth item is a real collectible thing. I mean, I will have people biting me for this, I tell you, especially my nephews. It's a Fortnite figure, but if you look at it on the box there, it says 22 moving parts. Look at that. AIM he's called, and he's from Fortnite, and he is an action figure, complete with weapons and everything. There's loads of them to collect, as you can see on the back of the box there. Lots of them to collect. But I've got one. I've got one figure. Pretty good, isn't it? Fortnite figure. So, in value-wise, a t-shirt is about 15. I'll check the prices out and put them on the screen, by the way, by the time after I've done the vlog. I've got a Fortnite figure. I've got a t-shirt. I've got a set of 4 shot glasses, and I've got a Q-Fig. And all that for $17.99. Not bad, eh? And that concludes the unboxing of the March 2021 Zed Box. That was not a bad value box, was it? Not bad at all. Well, I've had a quiet couple of weeks. I've done a jigsaw, which you're going to see in a minute, and it's actually another Lawrence King one. If you remember on my last vlog, I showed you one called Pop Art. Well, this one is called Inside the Chocolate Factory, and it's a fantastic 1000-piece jigsaw because it shows everything. Every single image that's on it is to do with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Roald Dahl one. You've got both incarnations of Charlie, Willy Wonka, sorry. You've got the Gene Wilder, the fantastic version, then you've got the Johnny Depp remake, we'll leave that one. They're both on there. You've got all the characters, you've got Augustus Gloop on there, you've got Violet Beauregard on there. You know, they're all on there. You've got Mike TV, I think he's on there somewhere as well. But you've also got weird and obscure references, because you've got things like Stanley Kubrick, A Clockwork Orange, the guy in the white overalls. Now, if you're thinking, what's that got to do with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I'll explain it in the video, so I'm not going to do a spoiler now. You're going to see it in the video in a minute. But I absolutely loved it, because as I was doing the jigsaw, I was putting these pieces in and having pictures and thinking, what's that got to do with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? But all will be explained in the video, which is coming up right now. So I just wanted to show you this video of this jigsaw. It's called Inside the Chocolate Factory, and it's by Lawrence King Publishing. And the thing I love about it is every single thing that's on the jigsaw is to do with the Roald doll, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which obviously was made into the film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, you might see some characters and think, what have they got to do with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? I mean, on there you've got Mozart, you've also got like Queen Elizabeth II, etc, etc. But included with the jigsaw is a great big pull-out piece of paper. Now, on one side you've got the jigsaw itself, and on the second side you've got what all the references are. You can even see things like Danny DeVito. There you can see Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. There's Mozart, because a piece of music that's used in it is very similar to a Mozart piece. You've also got the Oompa Loompas. As we go across, you can see filmmakers and all sorts. Here you've got the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. There you've got A Clockwork Orange, Stanley Kubrick. Now, again, people might say, what's that got to do with Willy Wonka? Well, the truth be honest is it came out the same year, so they've included that as well. And as you can see, there's tons of detail in it. It's a cracking 1,000 piece jigsaw. I really did enjoy doing it. And coming up, you can see just a couple of pictures of the jigsaw. That's the completed jigsaw that you can see. And then coming up, there's another picture there with the box on top of it. It's a cracking square box as well, so you haven't even got to worry about it fitting into anything. It just fits nicely. These are some of the pictures that were on the jigsaw. As you can see, you've got very good detail on it, with Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka right in the middle. Yeah, so as you can see, it's quite an in-depth jigsaw. There are another two in the set, which are called Shakespeare and also Sherlock Holmes. Now, I've got Sherlock Holmes. I haven't done it yet, but I've got Sherlock Holmes, and I've also ordered the Shakespeare one. I ordered it about 3 weeks ago, and that should be here at the end of March. So I will have all four in the set, which will be a really nice set, because like I said, the images in them are absolutely stunning, and the references are brilliant, how they've included them in the pictures. But other than that, I've not been doing a lot. We've been watching a bit of TV. We finished a 1980s/90s sitcom called Brushstrokes, which was really good. I've never seen it all the way through, and it was a fantastic series, and I'm doing a review of that coming up in a minute. I've also finished my Dell of a Life book, which again, I'm coming up and I'm going to be doing a review for that. We've had another couple of meals from HelloFresh. Now, these aren't ones that we've had since, because we've cancelled as membership, but these are ones that we had that we've used in the last few days. One we had last night was really nice, and I'll be showing you pictures of that one, and the last two that we've had. They'll be on the vlog a bit later on as well. Like I said, I've not been up to a lot. I have done a really cool thing, as I didn't know what to get Deb for our upcoming anniversary, because it's 7 years this year since we got married, and she'd been mentioning, and I knew she took a little bit of a liking to a thing called Animal Crossing. Well, I don't know whether you know Animal Crossing. It's a fantastic little island game, but the best place to play it is on the Nintendo Switch. So what I decided to do was get a Nintendo Switch for Deb, so that she's got something that she can just play on and have a bit of fun with. Anyway, I bought her the Nintendo Switch. It came a few days ago, and with it was Animal Crossing. And needless to say, it's a roaring success. She's absolutely loving this island. The amount of times I keep hearing little like shouts of joy from the living room, and I can understand the hype on it, because it's a really cool, relaxing game. You can just literally take your time on it. It's in real time as well. You can make it in real time. So basically, if it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on there. If it's midnight, it's midnight on the island. And the brilliant thing about it is there's always something to do at different parts of the day. And there's always people coming to your island that, you know, like museum dealers and stuff like this sort of thing. So it's really interactive. But it's also one of those you could either play for 3 or 4 hours or 20 minutes. Although it is addictive, so once you start playing it, it's sort of hours disappear. Now, I don't mind this, because like I said, I'm a gamer myself. So while Deb's been on that, I've been playing my Skyrim. Now, I don't know whether you know what Skyrim is. If you're a fan of gaming, Elder Scrolls has been out for absolutely years, and a few years back they brought out a game called Skyrim, and it's a fantastic game. It's absolutely massive. I am talking, it is huge. You can literally do hundreds and hundreds of missions. You can do anything on it, from being turned into a vampire, you can turn into a werewolf, you can be a rebel, or you can be a soldier, you can be a thief. There's loads of different things, and all the way through the game you can literally do missions, and suddenly you change your allegiance, if you like, depending on what you do. You can get arrested and thrown into jail. Obviously it's set in a fantasy land. It's not set like nowadays with machine guns or nothing like that. The weapons are basically things like crossbows, swords, axes, magic staffs and things like this. And that's a fantastic game, it really is. I'm addicted to it. I've been playing it for, I think it says 48 hours or 49 hours altogether, not in a row, don't get me wrong, not in a row. Altogether I've been playing it about 49 hours, and I'm up to level 34 or something. Because you keep advancing your character, and you have to learn things like archery, pickpocketing, alchemy, conjuring, smithing, even blacksmithing, and all sorts of stuff like that. Even speechcraft, so you can haggle better and talk to the people better. I would give it 9 out of 10, pure as anything. 9 out of 10. Skyrim is absolutely fantastic. If you've got a PC or an Xbox or whatever, and you've got a chance of owning Skyrim, own it. You will not regret it. Oh, and you also have to fight dragons just as a little extra. And you absorb their souls and learn wounds of power, which is fantastic because you can do some brilliant stuff with it. Things like moving really fast so nobody can see you. You can breathe fire. You can fly as a dragon once a day. You can become a dragon once a day, and that's pretty cool as well. But yeah, going back to the Nintendo Switch, Deb absolutely loves it. And one of the games also that I got for it is called Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, if you don't know who Luigi is, years ago on Nintendo there was a thing called Super Mario, and his brother was called Luigi. And basically this is Luigi's Mansion. And what you basically have to do is go into this mansion, and then suddenly all your friends get kidnapped, blah blah blah, and put in frames, and you've got to go through basically through all the levels of the mansion, killing ghosts, hitting things, getting coins, upgrading, fighting bosses. It's one of those sort of games. Now you can attach a Nintendo Switch to the telly, but I will warn you, don't buy the Nintendo Switch Lite, because you can't attach that to the TV. You cannot attach it to the TV. You can only do that with the Nintendo Switch. So if you're thinking of getting a Nintendo Switch, get the Switch, not the Switch Lite. You'll wonder why it's cheaper, because you can't attach it to a TV, so you've just got to play it on the screen, the little screen in front of you. With the Nintendo Switch, you've got the option of attaching it to a TV and playing it on the big screen, which is useful for things like ghost games and stuff like that. Now, the other good thing about the Nintendo Switch is it's one of those consoles that you can take anywhere with you. You know, you can put it in a bag and all this sort of thing. And if you buy the later versions of it, which are the Neons, you get a lot longer battery power as well. You get between 6 and 9 hours or something like that per full charge, which is quite good for gaming. You know, a lot of these consoles, you have to charge them after 3 or 4 hours, but not with the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, that's what I bought Deb. I just, you know, I saw it, I knew she was interested in it, so I just got it for her. I've got the case for it and the cover and all this sort of stuff that needs to go with it, but she loves it, absolutely loves it. She's mad on the island, you know. Like I said, I keep hearing these little cries every so often of, oh, I've caught one, and oh, I've got this, and oh, this guy's here, and it's wonderful. It really is wonderful. But yeah, them are the sort of games where you can just literally chill out and relax. And the only game I'm looking forward to now for the PC is a game called Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but they don't seem to want to bring it down in price, because you've got to pay about £50 and all you get is a download code. You don't actually get a physical copy of the game, you get a code in a box, which I'm not paying £55 just for a code. I'm not doing that. I won't do it. But yeah, I'm mad on gaming anyway. I'm a big gamer, you know. I love all me proper gaming and all that sort of stuff. Mainly RPGs, but I do all sorts of stuff. I mean, I was playing yesterday, I had a blast from the past. I was playing pinball, pro pinball, Aftershock I think it's called, or Time Shock, and that was a blast from the past because I haven't played that for absolutely years. Anyway, enough rattling and about stuff, and coming up, a review of Brushstrokes. Now, the main stars of the late 80s, early 90s sitcom Brushstrokes are Carl Howman and Gary Waldhorn. And the gist of the series is Carl Howman plays a Jack the Lad, basically. He never settles on any relationships. He sees a woman, and then he sees another woman, then he sees another woman. He can see 2 or 3 in the same day. He doesn't seem to have any filter to turn off about things like that. He thinks that all women have got wonderful qualities, etc., etc., and he can't pick between them. Now, his boss, Gary Waldhorn, is a hard-assed sort of character. He is literally one of these who takes no crap off anybody. But he's got a daughter in it called Leslie, and she is the apple of his eye, and so much so that he will literally spend every penny he's got just to keep her happy, because he's worked his way up from nothing and he wants his daughter to have absolutely everything. Well, this character of this guy who's a Jack the Lad is called Jacko, played by Carl Howman, and is Gary Waldhorn's daughter. He plays a guy called, let me just get this right now, I'm going to get his name right in a minute. No, it's got Lionel Bainbridge, who owns a paint firm, and Carl Howman's one of his painters. The trouble is, the boss's daughter falls for this Carl Howman, and her father is that determined that he will not end up with her that he sends her. He thinks he's going to help by sending her away for a few weeks to basically go on a holiday of a lifetime and forget about him. But when she comes back, she realises she's in love with the character. Now anyway, this is only just a little tiny part of the series. The series itself is very well written, and some of the comedy moments in it are priceless. But it's basically all about this guy, Carl Howman's life, and the women he meets, and the way he manipulates them, but also the way he gets manipulated further into it as well. So it's got a good feel-good factor. It's not, doesn't take itself too seriously, although there are a couple of little moments in it. And also there's another character in it who's absolutely fantastic and I think is brilliant, and he owns a wine bar, and he owns the pub at first, called Elmo, and it's all about his adventures as well, because some of the things he does you will not believe till you watch this series. This guy is on another planet. I'll give you just a little quick starter. Right near the beginning of the first series, one of them walks in, and when he says, "What you doing here?" he says, "I'm doing a report for the Michelin Guide." This Elmo thinks he's so clever, he turns round and he says, "Well, I know you're lying." He says, "Because Michelin don't do pubs, they make tyres." This is the kind of intelligence this Elmo's got. And literally all the way through, he's coming out with quips like that will make you laugh and cry and everything. Now, Carl Howman, I think, is a very underrated comedy actor. I really do think he's an underrated comedy actor, and I've seen him in a couple of other comedies as well, but nothing had a bigger impact than Brushstrokes. Now, there's 6 series of it, and it does flow nicely, and it has got a proper ending as well. It has got an ending that makes you go, yes, I can understand why they've ended it there. It's clever how it's done, but it's well worth watching, and I think, to be honest, I would give it a good 7 out of 10 for comedy. Because, like I said, there's some parts in it that will make you laugh, some will make you cringe, some will make you hide your head in embarrassment and shame, because how he deals with women is very sexist. I mean, some of the things he comes out with, you sort of like, if you're a modern man, you will just hide behind your hands and think you would never get away with saying that nowadays, But he always seems to fall on his feet no matter what happens. Whatever happens, whatever situation, he always falls on his feet, he always seems to get through it. But he comes very close to coming a cropper a few times. But that's my review for Brushstrokes. It came out, I think it started in 1986 and finished in 1991, and it ran for 6 seasons. And it stars Carl Howman and Gary Waldhorn, and I will give it 7 out of 10. Now, the next time I do a vlog, I'll be doing another review for another series which we've just started, and it's called The Darling Buds of May, and that will be my review for next time. We like watching a lot of TV. We're working his way through a lot of box sets, because we have got literally tons and tons of box sets to watch, and Blu-rays and DVDs and all sorts. We've been having a little bit of a problem with the Blu-ray player at the moment. We're not sure whether it needs firmware upgrading, because it keeps glitching. The problem is it needs I was going to say HDMI then, but it's the other one. It needs a normal cable to connect it to the router, because it's not Wi-Fi, the Blu-ray player isn't. So we've got connected, and then we'll do a firmware upgrade and see if that helps, because it might just need firmware upgrading. But yeah, like I said, I haven't done a lot. There's not a lot been going on. It's been nice weather-wise. We've not had too bad of weather. A couple of days are cold, but most of the days have been quite warm and quite manageable. I've not been freezing enough to say, right, we need the eating on 20 hours a day. So anyway, coming up, another review, this time for a book called A Dell of a Life by David Jason. Now, as you will probably guess, with my name being Sonofdel for my writing, Only Fools and Horses is a massive, massive, massive part of my life. It had been from when I was 8-9 years old all the way up until I was 30. It literally lasted me ages. It really did last me a long time, and it's seen me through some really hard, really sad times and really hard times, because I've been laughing at it and it's cheered me up no end. Now, David Jason, obviously he's 81 now, he's 81 years old, and I thought I'd get this book to go with my collection of David Jason books, and it's called A Dell of a Life, Lessons I've Learned. And I wonder whether at first it was going to be written as Del Boy, but it isn't. It's actually written as David Jason, and it's a fantastic recollection of his life without going into too much detail of his life, but showing incidents in his life that have taught him valuable lessons which he's carried through with him. Now, it's a brilliant read. There's some really funny parts in it, there's some serious parts in it, but it's a great collection of literally little anecdotes and lessons which you can take on board yourself, because a lot of the lessons that he's learned make sense. They're not sort of fly by, oh, you've got to be rich to do that sort of thing. They're not that kind of lessons. Things like, if you don't succeed at something and you've had a go at it 2 or 3 times, still tell yourself you can do it. Still tell yourself there's possibility that you can do this. You've just got to get your mind set, and no matter how many setbacks you have, doing it will make you, then all them setbacks disappear, and it'll make you punch the air and way I did it, that sort of thing. And it's a really nice book. It's an easy read. It's a really easy read. There's some good photographs in it as well. And he also recounts how he's coped with lockdown from March last year, because it was only written quite late last year. So he's basically got how he coped as an actor when there was no acting, the boredom that he suffered, the situations where he thought he'd encountered a ghost. I'm not going to go into it any more than that because I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a really, really good read. And if you've got the other David Jason books, it's well worth reading. He's a good writer, because it doesn't feel like you're reading a book. You feel like you're listening to his voice. You can hear everything he's saying in his voice, And he does go through all his career, including his first encounters with Terry Scott. He goes into the Danger Mouse. He does the Wind in the Willows, his incident with Wind in the Willows. And also a very, very interesting fact was that he, for 2 hours, was playing Jonesy in Dad's Army. He was actually playing Jonesy in Dad's Army. He'd been told he was going to be playing him, the part that obviously Clive Dunn ended up taking on. But but for 2 hours it was going to be David Jason. And I'm not going to explain why. You're going to have to pick the book up and have a read of it. But like I said, it's a good read. It took me about 5 nights because I didn't do much reading at night, because sometimes by the time we'd finished watching TV I was too tired. But I would give that one 8 out of 10. Dell of a Life. It's worth watching. I've done a review on Goodreads, and I've done a review on Smashbomb, and I'll put the links to both underneath. So yeah, if you've got a chance to read it, go for it. A Dell of a Life, Lessons I've Learned, David Jason, 8 out of 10. Now, what else can I end the last word on? First of all, I'm a Liverpool fan. I've been a Liverpool fan since I was 5 years old, so 43 years now, and we're going through a period where we're playing some absolute garbage and we're getting beaten left, right and centre. I'm dreading us playing today. We're playing again in 4 minutes, believe it or not. We kick off in 4 minutes, and we're playing Fulham at Anfield. Now, normally I'd say we'd beat them 4-0, but how we're going at the moment, we've lost 5 in a row at Anfield, which we've not done for a very long time. In fact, I don't think we've ever done it, but there's bad vibes going on at Liverpool at the moment. Something's not quite right. From winning the league last year to being about 40 points behind is just ridiculous, really. And I've not really been concentrating that much on the football. I've been concentrating on the news, the ridiculous news, because obviously starting tomorrow the children go back to school in the UK, all of them. I think they're staggering some other, I can't remember, but he's hoping to have everything all done and dusted I think by the 21st of June or something like that. Now, I'm not quite sure how this is going to work, because some people I know haven't even bothered with the rules anyway, and other people are probably going to go demented as soon as the kids are back at school. You know, they're going to start doing stupid things like having the friends round and all this kind of thing. Now, we need to be sensible here, because we are dealing with it really well at the moment as a population, not the government. The government have made a balls up of it completely, but as a population we're not doing too bad with it. We're doing what we're told, we're staying in, you know, we're not doing messing with like loads and loads of different people in your house and all this thing. There are groups of people obviously still anti-lockdown protesters, complete nutcases as far as I'm concerned, and it's proved that because we have stuck to the measures, the R rate is going down. And I read yesterday that only 1 in every 230 people has got it now. Now, at one stage, I think it was 1 in every 58 or something, but 1 in every 230. Well, when you put that into context, if you times that by 5, you get 1,000 people, right? Well, 1,150 actually, but that's only 5 people out of every 1,150 people. And I don't think that's too bad at all. I think that's a pretty good ratio. I know there's still a lot of people ill, and one of the biggest things I've read this week, which I cannot believe, is that the people who put themselves in the firing line for the last 12 months, the people who've been on the front line, the ones who basically made sure the country keeps going by treating all the ill people, you know, they've probably had to not see the family for weeks on end, let the children stay with the grandparents because they can't have any access to them in case they catch anything or they pass it on. And they've only been offered a 1% pay rise. 1%, it works out about £2 a week. 1%. Now, somewhere along the line, we've got to look at this and say, look, we give umpteen £billion to foreign aid, right? Now, don't call me racist or whatever, because I'm sick of it, it's crap anyway. We give all this money to foreign aid, right? And we would rather stick to our principles and do that than reward the NHS staff who've literally kept the country going. I don't care what anybody says. If we hadn't have had the NHS staff, thousands, maybe millions would have died more than what have. So to offer them 1% pay rise is an insult. It's an absolute insult. If you're going to offer them anything, it's got to be at least 5%. You can't offer them 1%. £2 a week. £2 a week as an average for 1% is pathetic. It's pathetic, and it's an insult. It's an insult. It's like saying, right, you put your lives on the line, you probably, lost some of your family, some of you have passed away, some of the nurses have died, don't forget the doctors have died, but it's okay, we'll give you an extra £2 a week. It's an insult, an absolute insult, and I'm ashamed of our government for offering that. I really am. I think it's diabolical. And that is the last word today, just on the complete ridiculousness of offering lifesavers 1%. I just think it's pathetic, I really do. Now, that was the last word, but since I last spoke to you in February, what would have been my mum's birthday on the 4th of March. Now, as a lot of you know, most of you know actually, my mum passed away last August, and it's still not quite sunk in really. We're still not having a good job of accepting it, the family. And since then, we've had another mother pass away, which is my brother-in-law's mother, who's also passed away within 6 months of my mum. So it's been a very, very emotional time, and it's going to be even more emotional because obviously the other woman who passed away, it isn't her funeral for another few days yet. Now, with it being my mum's birthday, it was a little bit of a subdued day on the 4th of March. I didn't post anything on Facebook. I couldn't word it properly. My sisters posted things, which was great, and I liked them both because obviously, it was how I was feeling. But it's not easy to put into words how much losing my mum meant. It's massive. It's massive. I mean, at 48, I now have no parents and no grandparents. My own, none of them. And it's weird to think that at 48 you're an orphan, I don't get me wrong, I know some people that, you know, are born orphans or whatever, but for me, who's always had my mother always there, you know, and us not expecting it, that was the worst part, not expecting it. It left a massive hole, and it's a hole that'll never be filled. It really won't. Keep putting little bits in it now and again to try and fill it, but it just won't, because so much reminds me of it. TV shows, news stories, looking at photos, book titles, even songs, you know, everything just runs back to my mum. So you know, this is just a little sort of late message to say it's wishing me mum a belated happy birthday on the 4th of March, and we miss her loads, we all do. And I added that on to the end of the last word. I'll do another vlog soon. You all take care. Bye for now.